Hey there, folks. I hope things are going well for you today. We're going to take a look at section 3.2 of chapter 3 today. Once again, get my pen going here, section 3.2. And as we look at that, that is going to deal with percentage problems. Applying what we've done so far as percentages goes, these are going to be percentage problems. Now, one thing to keep in mind, and you'll find that kind of on page 139, but more importantly on page 40, you're going to have something like the rate times the base equals the portion. The rate times the base equals the portion. For example, when you see that, the rate is going to be your percentage, whatever the case may be. So let's say you have 80% of is always multiplication. Pick any number, let's say 200 is an equal sign, and then your portion, whatever your answer is. And if we multiply this out, we're going to get an answer 160 there with that. Okay? So some things to keep in mind. Once again, this is your rate. Your base is the original amount that you start with, and your portion is the amount that you want to figure out what you got in some cases with that too. Whenever you see multiplication, most of the time that in a word problem that will be represented with of, and equals is when you see that. So keep those pieces in mind too with that. So too bad, look, it is. There we go. A lot of the problems you see are going to be set up like that, just like what we did there. However, if you look on page 140, it kind of has it set up to show you how one is proportionate to the other with some of those things too. So you have your original equation here that we started out with here. Rate equals base, rate times base equals proportion. But now there's a couple others down here that may make your life easier in the long run too. If you take a look here, what we can do is we can manipulate this equation here to tell us different things. For example, what if we wanted to find out exactly what the base was? Maybe that was our unknown. So what we can do here, if we have something like where rate times base equals portion, if I had to go ahead and divide each side by base, we will have an equation that says rate equals portion over base. Rate equals portion over base. Basically, we just solved this here, divided by 1, and so that's what we end up with. We can do the same thing on the other equation. Let's say we wanted to solve and find out what the base was. We know the rate, we know the portion, we want to find out what the base is. So we could go ahead and do that exact same thing. We could have rate times base equals portion. And like I said, in this case, we're solving for base, so we want to divide each side by the rate. Divide each side by the rate. And so we're left with base equals portion divided by rate. Base equals portion divided by rate. Another thing that you'll use there. So it's another way that whole thing can be set up with that too. So just a couple other ways. Let's go ahead and highlight them so you'll be able to see those in here too. Those is right there, and then our other one is right down here. So, once again, for some practice in those areas, if you want to take a look in the book and do some of those exercises out there, that would be great. as you're looking at some of the pieces here and what you would need to do, we would probably do, you know, since it is word problems and everything else like that, page 152, you could start on that. Oops. Page 152, and once again, the answers are in the back of the book. And it does, excuse me, go up to page 104. And once again, do whatever you need to feel comfortable with what you're learning here. And else like that too. So. All right. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Once again, this was section 3.2, percentage problems, and our assignment there. And make sure you're labeling things too. Make sure you're labeling your answers. The problems I've looked at so far, that's I see the biggest issue with all that. So thank you. Have a great day. Bye.